It's not very powerful, but since the weather's pretty nice today, who cares? Hammer, pliers, file, scissors, a bit of everything.
Man,
I could take
it's
them all,
cold.
but this thin one here seems most familiar to me. How weird. It's on, but it's empty.
Well, of course. Who would be such a numbskull as to put something in there?
Why's that?
Because it's always on the fritz, and no sooner do you stick something in it than it goes pow, and it deep freezes everything to the core, so careful. Man, I don't know why I'm even warning her.
Hi, Luann.
Man, at this rate, I'll never finish work. What is it?
You do have an unusual job for a woman.
When my Uncle Bobby Ray retired, he was the maintenance man around here, and he told the old Reverend what a hard-working, decent country girl I am. And what do you know? I left behind my sheep and came here to the Big Apple.
Don't tell me you herded sheep.
Yep, and if you giggle, I'll whack you good.
No, it's just that my dad takes care of sheep too.
Well, I'll be a lamb's fingernail. I knew I liked you. So how'd his daughter become such a fancy city slicker?
Kids don't always turn out the way we expect them, do they? If I'd stayed back home, well, forget it. Where are you from?
From Catalina Boulder in Shawangunk Ridge, a long ways from here. It's little, but it's got all you need. Cattle, swine, sheep, people, mules, chickens, ducks. Oh, and the Sunday ball.
Don't you miss your family?
Yep, but if I weren't here, I'd never have met my Ernie. Man, he's my knight in shining armor.
So, how did you get this job?
When my Uncle Bobby Ray retired, he was the maintenance man around here, and he told the old Reverend what a hard-working, decent country girl I am. And what do you know? I left behind my sheep and came here to the Big Apple.
You know, I don't want to ask too many personal questions.
All the better.
Talk to you later. I don't want to make you late.
Okay, see you around then.
These are the most luxurious digs in this bone pile. Yes, that's the thing to do. Darn, someone could have put a hole, tunnel, lever, or something else that might make it easier for me to reach Brian. I have no other choice but to remove one of these blocks of stone. But which? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it'll be best to choose that one in the middle with the ring. It'll be easier to remove than the ones on the side. File the block? Of course. I can file away the mortar between the other blocks, and then it'll be easier to move. File that mortar down. Let's get to it.
Wasabi. No, the broad's still inside, and I'm starting to get knackered. We're on it. Yo, Fatzilla, bad news, dude. Seems we can't go in. We have to wait for her here, then follow her. You have such a way with words.
Well, that wasn't easy. but I managed to file all of the mortar away. It's a good thing that I filed the mortar off the edges, but it's still too big for me to move by myself. Okay, so I got rid of the mortar, but I wonder if I can drag away the stone with the strap. Ready. It seems like a good way to remove the stone block, but I'm not strong enough. Brian's text message said not to leave the cemetery, but I don't see what's wrong with approaching the front gate. Ernie? You're still here?
Gina Basco. How's it going, kid?
Great, fine. I mean, actually terrible. I'm distraught. Thanks for attending the funeral.
No, well, I was Basco's favorite orderly, and he was my favorite nut job. How could I miss his funeral? What's more, Happy Dale didn't send anyone to it. But of course, with everything that's going on down there, that place is like crazy. Hey, Gina, I got a joke for you. You ain't nothing but a mad dog.
Well, well, you sure kept the thing about Luann all to yourself.
How'd you find out?
Ernie, it's easier to catch a man red-handed than a child. Want to know something else? I'd love to know how you met.
Well, it wasn't the best time, but I noticed her during the funeral. Then, when she started trimming some hedges, I went over and showed her my Harley, and we ended up making a date for the bowling alley.
You just drive her crazy. She wants to jump your bones.
And Ernie here wants to jump hers, babe. Don't get me wrong, you're a hottie too, but she is blonde, of course.
You make a great couple.
She is a hunk of love. I can't remember the last time I fell for such a sizzling number. Why, it's been hours.
Don't worry, she'll be out soon.
I hope so, because I really want to hit them pins. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I never make out with a girl on the first date. Except when I want to.
I bet you could spend all day talking about her, but I can't.
Babe, if you were into Luann as much as Ernie is, well, we'd have us a problem. Or on second thought, things could get interesting.
There's something I need to tell you about Brian.
Shoot, babe. I'm all ears.
Did you notice anything strange about him in his final days?
You know what, babe? I think Brian knew he had something coming. He was nervous-like. Couldn't stop pacing around, talking to one guy, then another. It's as if he had a sixth sense, telling him, "Get a move on, kid. Things are almost over with here." Wait, I almost forgot. Brian's the one with the bag. Looks good on him, huh?
Clearly he adapted to his new environment pretty well.
Yeah, well, we took this picture the day before Brian, just keep it. It's all yours.
How original. I didn't know people gave gifts at funerals, but thanks.
Nothing's too good for my favorite brunette, darling. If I hadn't fallen in love with Luann today, I'd have done even more.
Did you hear him talk about some place he would have liked to visit?
Not that I can remember now, no.
What do you know about Brian's attempted escape?
Nothing. Just what people were saying. That he tried to escape through the air ducts and that his head got chopped off by a big fan. Poor nut job.
Who else could tell me more about Brian's final days?
The guys who knew Brian best at Happydale were Dr. Bennett, who's now missing, and his fellow escapees, Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. You're going to have a hard time, babe.
One other thing. Brian is alive.
Babe, Brian will always be alive in our memories. But you need to turn the page and live your own life. Once I get over this Luann thing, I'll call you up and help you.
What did you really think about Brian?
Well, Ernie already told you. Brian was his favorite nut job. What do you mean?
Do you think Brian murdered Kordsmeyer?
Kordsmeyer was that military brass, right? Hey, I don't know, babe. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. You never know with these nut jobs.
Do you really think Brian was insane?
Obviously, babe. Crazier than a cuckoo.
By the way, I guess nobody doubts Brian is dead. Like, totally dead, right?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but there's rumors that when they found him, he was a bit... how should I put it?
Headless? I know, Ernie. I'm the one who identified his body.
Oh, babe, that's horrible. Then why are you asking this stuff? Who'd know better than you?
Maybe I just need to get used to not talking about Brian all day long.
It's normal, babe. He's always on your mind.
Why did you say the psychiatric hospital is like crazy?
Haven't you heard, hon? Just 2 days ago, right when Brian keeled over, 2 inmates escaped, and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed, and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit. And she was some major eye candy, that little lady. Ooh.
Bennett disappeared? The same Dr. Bennett that was treating Brian?
The very same. I don't know if he'd finished his report for the judge, determining whether Brian was crazy or not. But who cares at this point?
Which 2 inmates escaped?
That'll be Jacob Kurgan and Gabo Spiegelman. From what I've heard, all 3 tried to skip the nut house together, but Brian got the worst part.
Don't you think it's weird that so many unusual things happened in such a short time?
Nope. It's like that movie. Unfortunate events always seem to happen in a series.
Getting back to our last topic. Don't call me Basco. My last name is Timmons.
So, you're ashamed of Basco. Of Brian. Wow. And he never stopped talking about how much he loved you and what a hottie you were. And he wasn't hallucinating either.
Brian and I aren't married. I'm not really sure what you'd call our relationship.
Well then, you're not a widow, and he's nothing more than a deceased friend.
I'd hate to have to give up my father's last name. I've already abused it so much as it is.
Well then, were you using your own name in that place where you used to dance? I thought you would have made up some kind of stage name, like Bubbles or Candy Cane.
How do you know about that? Damn Brian! He's gonna hear from me. He's gonna learn to keep his big fat mouth shut.
I don't mean to take sides, but I think Brian's already learned a thing or 2 about keeping quiet.
I'm not ashamed of Brian, no matter how nerdy he can be. He's the kindest man I've ever met.
Well, considering the string of gems you've come across in the past. Brian told me all your exes were, not very recommendable bachelors.
Just drop it. My last name is none of your business.
Okay, babe.
I need to go back to Brian's grave a while. You understand.
Don't let it get to you, babe. Whatever doesn't kill you just makes you smell better.
Too bad someone raked the dry leaves off the path. Otherwise, it would look like the one in The Wizard of Oz. Pretty nice bike. Too bad Ernie doesn't look more like Marlon Brando. The little plaque says, "Please keep the cemetery clean. Remember, someday it may be your home." That's not a very nice thing to say. Doesn't look like major construction. Yeah, these things can rust really fast. Let's see. The shovel. No, kind of creepy in a cemetery. And those metal thingies? No. Cement. What's that? Oh, I know. I'll take one of these adjustable tubular items you can use to prop things up. That might be useful. I don't see why I should do that for now. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. Yikes! The strap is on so tight that there's no way to get it off. That sounds good. And when the strap gets a little bit less tight, I'll finally be able to take it off. Looky there, now I have two. I like that. But first, I should find out where I need to tie the other end I have hanging loose here. Good idea. Though besides that, I think I've come up with another one of my brilliant ideas. I know it seems a bit strange, but, well, it might work. Could you translate this manual for me? It's in Swedish.
Is Swedish a dead language?
I don't think so.
Then I can't help you, dear. Though, if you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you. But wait. First, let me think. First, I should make certain that the primordial energy in the graveyard is benign. In other words, I have to wait for the spirits infesting this crypt to express their presence by giving off the usual phantom chill.
Yes! I can turn it into a water bottle. If it doesn't have any holes in it, that is. Looks like a cartoon character glove.
I'm catching cold.
Okay, why the heck not? Let's see how long it takes to freeze.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Pow! It's already frozen.
I don't know if they'll fit, but ready. Okay, Gita, you spilled more outside the box than you poured in, but I don't think the party concerned will notice. You haven't been sleeping well, you're exhausted and nervous, and do you know how hard it is to pour ashes without expert help? That's it. I can use the urn as a thermos so that the ice doesn't melt, or freeze my pocket. I hope my hand doesn't go cryogenic. Luann was right. It's frozen solid. That won't work. a bad idea, but since the cable is coated with very thick plastic, the cold would hardly reach it. I better not touch it, just in case. I think I've come up with better ideas before. I can't see what good that would do me. That sounds good. The end of the cable has no plastic coating, so it'll be much more sensitive to the cold than the rest. So let's see.
Oh, my spirits. What lovely creatures.
Hey, it worked! I feel bad about tricking Agatha, but I guess I've done worse things in my time. And with a lot less payoff than now. What about Agatha? Oh, there she is. Hey, Agatha, what are you doing here?
Congratulate me, dear. They gave me permission.
Congratulations. Who gave you permission and what for?
Didn't you hear the ectothermal machine beeping? The spirits of the Kilgore brothers, the primordial energy force in this graveyard, have authorized me to proceed with my research on their turf.
Oh, wow, how cool.
So you need not fear anything any longer, dear. Just answer me honestly. Why is your tormented spirit still wandering through this world?
Because I'm not dead yet?
Come on, are you sure?
I'd bet my life on it. But there are other things I'm not so sure about.
Oh, you have questions? Tell me. I'm your medium.
Heard any more voices from beyond the grave?
What are you talking about, dear? Oh, no. Ever since I left that crypt, not a peep, not a wailing sob, not a boo, not a thing.
What did you need to translate the manual into Swedish?
If you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you.
What are you doing out here?
Nothing, dear. I'm verifying the tests performed by the ectothermal scanning machine to check the sudden parabiothermal coldness detected in the Kilgore crypt.
See you around, Agatha.
Goodbye, dear.
Huh? If a person is in this directory, that means they're dead, doesn't it? However... Eureka! Ingerman Holgren, born in Norrköping, Sweden, and his grave is in Sector D, Path 2, Aisle... Here it is! But the truth is, I don't know why I'm so incredibly happy. I mean, I just found a dead guy, and considering where I am, that's not exactly an amazing feat. What's up, Agatha?
Nothing much, dear.
How are those readings coming?
I'm still studying them, dear. But at least I'm able to contact the graveyard spirits without their bosses raising utter pandemonium.
now that the spirits in charge around here are your friends, think you could help me with that Swedish manual?
Oh dear, it completely slipped my mind. Now where was that poor man?
Ingerman Holgren. Here he is.
Now, my dear, you just wait for me over there.
But
I need some peace now to get my capacity for understanding to rise to the world of the spirits. Ingerman, I invoke you. Ingerman, come and show yourself. Oh. Munter instructione. Let's see what this book says. Instructions for the assembly.
Agatha, what you just did is absolutely amazing.
Oh, my dear, you've no idea.
Really, thanks to you, I have just what I needed. The fully translated Flichting Coffin Assembly Manual. What would you say if I told you that I had translated the Coffin Assembly Manual?
That if you're lying, I'll smack you upside the head. Oh, my sweet lordy. Wow. Yes, this'll be a cinch. Now, in 5 minutes, I can do this body box. Then I'll get gussied up and it's off to the bowling alley with Ernie. So, will you show the coffin to the Reverend and close up the workshop for me?
Okay, fine. You run along. Don't worry.
So, it turns out you're a real nice person after all. Move out, Ernie.
I'll be seeing you later, hot duck.
At last, I'm alone. Finally. There's Luann's famous circular saw. It's heavy, but I'm sure I will be needing it.